The Judas Contract. Tara, a member of the Teen Titans who has now betrayed them, has given all the secret information regarding the Titans to Deathstroke the Terminator. The Terminator used this information to defeat all of them except for Dick Grayson, formerly known as Robin, but now known as Nightwing. The Terminator has handed over the rest of the members to the evil organization known as the Hive in an effort to fulfill the contract he inherited from his dead son, the Ravager. Nightwing, along with the Terminator's son, known as Jericho, the mutant with the ability to possess other people, are on their way to save the day. Whew! Well, welcome back to Kevin's commentary on comics, where we are going to conclude the Judas Contract with Book 4. This is in the pages of Tales of the Teen Titans Annual number 3. Big bonus, big book finale. We open this one with what appears to be thousands of Hive followers all herding their way toward the Master Chamber. In order to see what? Well, to see members of the Teen Titans all captured in the device called the Innervator. In a device called the Innervator. I'm going to stumble over that when I have to reference it in the future, just to let you know. This device somehow uses their own powers to make them powerless. Somehow, but hey, comics. The Terminator is there too, explaining to the Titans that he is finally fulfilled the contract from his dead son, the Ravager. Hey, did you know he was my son? You probably didn't. But if you think that was a big surprise, let me tell you who helped me out with this. And out walks Tara. Obviously, the Titans are shocked to see this, and they automatically assume, as all superheroes do, whenever one of their kin betrays them, that obviously that person is under some sort of hypnosis or mental control of some sort. She can obviously never be betraying them like this on her own, right? Well, wrong. Honestly, they just don't know she's a crazy nut job, and for whatever reason, just can't wait for them to die. Meanwhile, Nightwing and Jericho are outside the Hive headquarters, nestled in the Rocky Mountains. And here's where we get to see a little bit of Nightwing's new suit and its capabilities. We know right off the bat that it's got a nice little skull cap and goggles to help keep him nice and comfortably warm. Meanwhile, Jericho is wearing a big old parka. Nightwing takes out a guard rather easily, and they make their way closer to the entrance to the headquarters. Back inside, the Hive tells Deathstroke that he really hasn't completed his contract because he did not deliver Kid Flash or Robin. Terminator says, well, Kid Flash is no longer a member, so that doesn't count. And as for Robin, well, Tara interrupts him saying, hey, what, you couldn't take out the weakest link of the team? Maybe you should have called me in. Well, the Terminator tells her to just calm down and asks for a phone so he could check on the pursuit of Dick Grayson. The Terminator calls his faithful friend and butler, Wintergreen. Wintergreen kind of nervously says, well, we're still looking for him. We haven't found him. Terminator kind of like, that was kind of weird. He seemed kind of funny. Oh, well, back to work. Click. And we find out that Adeline, the Terminator's wife or ex-wife, I'm not really sure if they got a divorce or not. I guess maybe when you shoot someone's eye out, that probably is some grounds for some sort of separation or divorce. But she has a gun on Wintergreen, making him say what she wants him to say. And here we get into a little bit of another add-on to the Terminator origin. Again, I think they went way too deep with this, but apparently the Terminator saved Wintergreen from a Vietnam prison camp. And we got to see Terminator's first initial costume. So that was maybe the only point of this little flashback thing. Plus, this is an annual, so they had to fill some pages with something, right? Okay. So, back at Hive HQ, Nightwing and Jericho have made their way inside. And while Nightwing has been doing all the work thus far, Jericho shows off his people-possessing powers, takes over a guard. They knock them both out, and then Nightwing is putting on one of the robes that the Hive members all wear. Very convenient that it will cover his entire costume and head. He's telling Jericho to get in one, but Jericho just simply possesses one of the knocked out guards. And here we discover that the Jericho, when he possesses someone who is knocked out, he can now talk, although in the cadence and delivery of the person in which he's possessing. So the guy he's speaking through is got a lot of accent and like, hey, this is how it works, eh? My guess is here, and this was probably explained, but I don't remember reading it. But obviously, since Jericho can't talk normally when he possesses people and they are conscious, they still have the ability to speak. He does not control their voice, and I can only assume that's because he can't control his own voice. Again, I don't know if this was actually said or if I'm just a genius and figured it out. As it was probably said. I probably really did figure it out on my own. I'm not that smart. So they join the other Hive members as they all watch the Titans trapped on this I told you I was going to mess this up again. Innervator device thing. Unfortunately, the guy that Jericho is possessing is starting to wake up, and he tells Nightwing that when he does, he'll be able to yell out to everybody that something's going on. So Nightwing says, well, since the jig is up, let's break cover and let's start attacking all these guys. So they do, but they realize that, wow, this is way too many people. We got to kind of get away from the main group. They break off from the main group and face Tara, who immediately takes them out in a whirlwind of rocks and earth. Tara actually recognizes Jericho, but she can't place from where she's actually seen him before, but she does recognize him. So back at the Innervator, the Terminator is being told by the Hive leader he's just in time to see another hero be added to this device. Terminator asks, well, who's that? He says, well, we've got Robin now. What? How did you get Robin? Tara took care of it, and of course she brags about it. But then also says they've got another person to add to it, and they wheel out Jericho. Obviously, the Terminator instantly recognizes that this is his son and goes up to him. And that's when Tara realizes, hey, wait a minute, I know who this guy is. He's your son. I can't believe it. This must be making you really sad. And she does her usual chiding and teasing and whatever. Terminator looks at Jericho directly in the eye, which was probably not a good idea, and I don't think I mentioned this before, but the Terminator did not know that Jericho had superhuman capabilities. Jericho takes advantage of this fact and immediately possesses the Terminator, takes a swipe at Tara, kind of knocks her out momentarily, and then proceeds to free the rest of the Titans, and of course they're instantly healed, and it's Titans together, let's go fight the bad guys. So Battle Royale commences. Tara kind of comes to and sees the Terminator freeing Nightwing and says, wait a minute, you've gone soft on me. I can't believe this. You're all dead. Everyone is dead. She starts going crazy with her Earth stuff. The rest of the Titans, mainly Cyborg, Wonder Girl, and Starfire, proceed to seal the exits, keeping all of the Hive members in the Master Chamber, while Jericho and Nightwing face off against Terminator and Tara. Terminator, by the way, is now no longer possessed by Jericho. Nightwing and Jericho are taken out pretty quickly, and then it's just Terminator and Tara facing off against each other. And Changeling comes in and says, yeah, Tara, all right, I knew you were a good gal. I knew you were being controlled somehow. Let's get this guy together. And he turns into an elephant, props her on her back. She goes, what are you, nuts? Are you crazy? I hate you. And drops him through the floor, using her, again, Earth powers to do that. And the rest of the Titans join in the battle. Cyborg and Starfire take out Terminator as Tara starts to go completely nuts and just unleashes all of her powers. I guess it was the fact that the Changeling turned into a little fly or something and tacked her eye, and that was it. She was done. She starts blasting the place, Earth and volcanoes and everything going up. She completely loses control of her powers. Everything just collapses right on top of her. Basically, an entire mountain is just right on top of her, and ultimately, she's dead. The team digs her out, discovers that she is indeed dead. You kind of think that she, even though she lost control, maybe she's had the ability to save herself, but obviously not. We've established she was clearly crazy. So, crazy people apparently can't control Earth powers that they have. And we cut to the very next day, the morning of the next day, at a funeral service for Tara. Now, they have asked members of Batman and the Outsiders to join them, and I guess they decide not to tell Tara's brother, Geoforce, that she was evil and that she died a hero fighting the Terminator. They have a nice tombstone with a sculpture of her head on it and coffin. I don't know how they got this so fast. They give her a hero's funeral. In the distance, Adeline and Joseph, aka Jericho, are watching this. Adeline says, "You will do well with these guys. They're very honorable." Jericho's not really listening. He has a tear flowing from his eye. And this is kind of a weird ending. They basically say, let's see, I want to make sure I get this right. So I'm going to quote this directly. His thoughts are, "Soaring high on a warm spring wind, floating gently in a clear, cloudless sky, and borne aloft by tomorrow's hopes and dreams that can still come true." First of all, why would Jericho be so upset over this funeral? He didn't even know who Tara was, other than being involved in this kind of background stuff. Obviously, they needed to have some sort of deep writing here to end this epic storyline, but overall, I didn't really see it fitting too well. Probably when I read this originally, probably thought that was really poignant and a really great emotional ending, but reading this now, I'm kind of thinking like, that's a weird ending. Anyway, there you go, the Judas Contract. Take out that last flowery speech at the end of this, take out what I thought was maybe an overlong origin of the Terminator, especially since it was kind of your standard super soldier style origin, and you've got a really, really good story. It was the first new member to the Teen Titans since it was reintroduced back in 1980, I think, and she turns out to have betrayed him. Nice stuff, and one that was plotted out over the course of a year or so. And I love stories that build like that. It wasn't like, here she's being introduced, and then the next issue she's a member, and then the next issue she's betraying him. This was nicely plotted. Marv Wolfman did a really good job in that type of storytelling. And since I've already invested in these issues, plus some of the background issues that I needed to read because I didn't remember exactly when Tara was introduced, I bought all of these issues on Comixology. And I'm probably going to go back to the beginning of the new Teen Titans and get those as well. Yes, I have the original stories in my comic book collection, but A, I don't want to go find them. B, I don't want to read them in printed form because honestly, when you're looking at this stuff digitally, the colors are much more vibrant. You get a much fuller appreciation of the artwork, and it's just, in fact, a lot easier to carry this around than it is to carry multiple issues of comics around. So what did you think of the storyline? Were you kind of hoping maybe at the end of this, Tara would turn out to be a good guy, maybe some sort of last minute redemption? Not sure I cared that much that she did not become a hero at the end because I didn't have a lot invested in the character herself. They made her, I think maybe purposely, a bit distasteful so that the fact that she died at the end of this, we didn't really shed too many a tear. We're not like Jericho. What did you think? Leave your comments below. I guess there is a new Tara in the new 52 or the current DC universe, but I don't think other than the name and powers, she has any relation to this particular Tara. Well, I'm Kevin. That was my commentary. We're going to move into something new next time. I think what I want to try to do is maybe some single one-shot reviews. Instead of a epic storyline. I will obviously get into a storyline later, but I think I'm going to try a couple of just one-shot reviews of either single issues or maybe just one episode over a couple of issues or something. I'm going to find something, dig it up, read it, let you know about it, and if you want to hear about it, then you really should click that subscribe button right there. But until next time, why don't you go out, have a great day, and I will talk to you later. Thank you so much. See ya.